Poveglia Island, a haunting I won't forget. Poveglia Island, tucked away in the Venetian lagoon, is shrouded in a dark history. Once a quarantine station during the bubonic plague, it saw thousands perish, their remains burned and buried in mass graves. Later, it became a mental asylum, where the patients endured horrific treatment at the hands of a doctor who claimed the island's spirits drove him to madness, before he ended his own life by jumping from the bell tower. Today, Poveglia is abandoned and forbidden, its crumbling buildings and overgrown landscape a haunting reminder of the past. The island is said to be plagued by ghostly whispers and the distant toll of a bell that no longer exists. It's one of the most notorious haunted locations in the world. And with that, I still decided to check it out. Why? Because that's what my channel is all about. Testing whether myths are true or not, risking my life to entertain you guys, and most importantly, giving myself the thrill of the adventure. But this time, it was different. And I mean very different. For those of you new here, my name is Will, and I do the don'ts of life. So go ahead, smash that like button, and subscribe to join the Warrior X Will community. It was on July 11th, 2015, while I was browsing the web, that I stumbled upon a mysterious website that led me to the dark secrets of Poveglia Island. I quickly posted a challenge to my followers. If we hit 20,000 likes, I'd pack up and live on the haunted island for 4 days. It didn't even take 30 minutes before the comments and likes hit 19,000. This is what I love, seeing my fans excited for these crazy adventures. A few minutes later, we hit the 2,000 like goal. I called my crew together: Ryan, my camera guy; Roxy, my tech specialist; Yuka, our all-around engineer; and Sir Lorm, my live stream manager. We set a 3-day interval to meet up at 2 p.m. sharp and head out to the island. In the meantime, I spent my days reading through comments and doing more in-depth research about Poveglia, so I knew what to expect. The comments were a mix of hilarious and foreboding. This is the end of Will's paranormal adventures. He always does the don'ts of life. Bro is fearless. Will doesn't understand the word forbidden. This guy is the definition of crazy. Bro signed up for a death sentence. But some were more serious. Don't do it, it's not worth it. You won't make it back, neither will your crew. That last one only motivated me more. But one particular comment stuck in my mind. The island doesn't want visitors. Turn back before it's too late. I brushed it off and continued discussing the adventure with my crew online. Finally, the day arrived. We all met up, everyone ready for what lay ahead. We took our private boat and sailed toward Poveglia Island. After a few hours, we arrived. I initially planned to stay on the island alone for 4 days, but my crew insisted on joining me, so we all went together. Our first stop was the octagonal fort, where we set up cameras and gadgets, preparing for the night. As the day went on, we kept our fans updated on every detail. The fan page grew rapidly. My longtime followers weren't surprised to see me doing something like this, but the new ones were shocked that someone would risk their own safety to test out forbidden places. Night fell sooner than expected, and we quickly retreated to our tents, waiting for midnight to begin our exploration. Sir Lorm teased me by calling me Willie the Explorer, a nod to our childhood days watching Dora the Explorer. It was 5 minutes to midnight when we all emerged from our tents. We checked our devices to make sure everything was set, turned on our live stream, and the comments flooded in. I greeted the fans and showed them that we were truly on the infamous island. We began our exploration, walking through the halls, steps, and underground passageways, moving from building to building. The whole place gave off creepy vibes. We felt a chilling presence, but since we'd experienced similar feelings in other haunted places, we didn't pay much attention. We searched the entire fort until 3 a.m., then returned to our camp. We ended the stream and told our fans to stay tuned for tomorrow's episode, which would take place in the prison, church, and hospital. We set some gadgets to capture any paranormal activity while we slept and left others on to alert us if something approached. The routine continued for the next 2 days, with nothing paranormal to show our audience. But on the 4th day, as we were packing up to leave, That's when everything went horribly wrong. Early in the morning, we got on the boat to head home, but it wouldn't start. Thankfully, Yuka, our engineer, took it upon himself to fix it. While he worked, the rest of us wandered separately, each doing our own thing. I ended up near the plague field when suddenly a bell gonged loudly. My skin crawled and my vision blurred. I snapped back to my senses a few seconds later, but the island had changed. It was as if the place had come alive. Screams echoed from the asylum, loud cries mixed with hymns from the church, and voices surrounded me as if the island was filled with people once again. Panicking, I ran back to the shore, desperate to find my crew. My mind was reeling and I stumbled, falling into a pit of bones that began to crawl toward me, grabbing and dragging me deeper. I fought my way out, barely managing to survive. As I ran with all my strength, a dark figure flashed in the corner of my eye. A figure holding a spear, wearing a strange headpiece. Every time I blinked, it seemed to get closer. Luckily, I saw my friends from afar, also running toward the boat. We shouted to each other to hurry. The dark figure vanished as we reached the boat. We got on safely, but it was clear we all experienced something terrifying. We were shivering, except for Yuka, who remained calm and confused, asking what was wrong and why we were rushing. Barely able to catch our breath, we only managed to ask if the repair was done. When he said yes, we quickly started the boat and sped away. But as we left, the bell gonged again. We all heard it, except Yuka. A few days after returning home, I still couldn't fully comprehend what had happened. Neither could the rest of the crew, except Yuka, who remained untouched by the events on the island. I couldn't bring myself to post on the channel for weeks, leaving my fans worried, upset, and curious about the outcome of our adventure. When the crew finally met up, we shared our experiences. One thing we all had in common was the encounter with that dark figure, which got closer every time we blinked. It was a terrifying experience, but Yuka was spared since he stayed on the boat. Despite the fear, we realized we had something valuable to share. Our mini cameras captured the entire ordeal, proving that we weren't hallucinating. We reviewed the footage, combined it into a single video, and uploaded it to the channel. The response was immediate. Viewers noticed even more eerie details than we had seen in real life. Chairs floating in the church, uniforms disappearing from prison cells, trees turning toward us as we passed, and more. In the end, our fans were relieved to know we were safe, and the message was clear. Poveglia Island is not a myth. This is Will, and this was our experience on Poveglia Island. I do the don'ts of life, so put your finger on the follow and like button to stay tuned for more of my upcoming life-risking adventures.